Hello, welcome back. Myself Dr. MP Mishra, Faculty School of Computer and Information Sciences. With me is Mr. Ravi Shankar, Tech Lead at Colt Technologies Limited and Research Scholar, School of Computer and Information Sciences. In previous session, we discussed about the fundamentals of the network and security. In that, we discussed about what cryptography and hash function and related things are. In this session, we will be discussing about some protocols which are used for the purpose of network security. In addition to that, we will be also discussing about the tools which are used for network security, and then some application areas we will touch upon, and we will try to explore what are the different applications of these concepts, and then we will discuss about the future trend related to network and security related technologies. So over to you, Mr. Ravi, and
Thank you,
we may
sir.
discuss the things further.
So welcome back again. My name is Ravi Shankar and I'm working as a tech lead in Colt Technologies Private Limited. And I'm also a research scholar at SOCIS, School of Computer and Information Sciences, IGNOU. So in this session, we will present you the fundamentals of network security and the cryptography second. So the points of discussion for this presentation is the security protocols like SSL, Secure Socket Layer, TLS, Transport Layer Security, IPsec, and the secure communications. We will touch up some kind of network security tools like firewalls, IDS and IPS, intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems, and the monitoring systems. Some practical applications like real world scenarios and case studies, and then the future trends means the emerging technologies and the security challenges. So first of all, we will discuss the network security protocols. Network security protocols like SSL and TLS works at the layer 4 and the layer 6 of the OSI model. OSI model is the open system interconnection. It has 7 layers starting from physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and the application layer. So SSL works at the presentation layer, layer 6, and TLS works at the layer 4, transport layer security, transport layer, layer 4. So they are being used to secure data transmission between web browsers and servers like we use in HTTPS, email, VPNs, virtual private networks, and instant messaging like WhatsApp and Snapchat. Now we will study the IPsec, Internet Protocol Security. It secures IP communication by authenticating and encrypting IP packets. It's commonly used in VPN and site-to-site connections. Other important protocols like SSH, Secure Remote Access, to perform this secure remote access, SFTP for secure file transfer, if you want to transfer any file from one server to another server or from your remote system to the servers. SNMP v3, it's a network management protocol version 3 for secure network management of the devices. Some authentication protocols like Kerberos, it's a network authentication. Radius, it's for remote authentication, and LDAP for directory services like user database.
Okay, Ravi, will you a little bit more elaborate on IPsec, what actually it is, and at which layer of the OSI model or the TCP/IP protocol model it works?
So IPsec generally used in VPNs. So what actually a VPN is? VPN is a virtual private network. It's a software tool which helps to create a secure tunnel over public internet to access the internal resources perfectly or authorize. So IPsec works at the it doesn't work at a single layer. It's a combination of layers like layer 4 till layer 7. It is combined from layer 4 till layer 7, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. All 4 layers work together over this protocol.
Okay.
Now we will know some network security tools. Network security tools like firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention systems. So what is firewall? Firewall is a device. It can be a physical device like router or a switch, or it can be a virtual device like ESX, like you can use in over the some kind of hypervisor like ESXi.
Okay.
So what firewall does? Firewall controls the incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules.
Okay, you said that it can be a router or bridge. So gateway also come into that category, or gateway is something different?
Gateway is also.
Okay.
A firewall can act as a gateway also.
Okay.
So predetermined security rules, how this security rules works. Security rules works at layer 4, TCP layer 4, transport layer, where you use source, destination, means sender, receiver, and a port number, a logical port number. So the functions of firewalls are like packet filtering. It filters the packet, means it sees the packet by implementing some kind of header onto that, by amending the header of the TCP IP packet. It sees the packet, what kind of source it taking, what kind of destination it's going, what kind of port it is. And the second one is the stateful inspection.
So how we can stop certain kind of source destination from communication if we are using the firewall?
Using firewall, you can use the access list. Means an access list contains a source, destination, and a port number, and the rule. Rule means either need to allow it or deny it. If it is allowed, then the communication will be allowed. If it is denied, then the communication will be dropped, and a log will be created, so that we come to know that why this connection is dropped out.
Okay, Ravi, before we move further, can you tell certain firewalls which are commonly used or which are very prominent in industry and which are being developed by different vendors known in the area of network and security?
So some important or known or renowned vendors are Cisco,
Okay.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint is an Israel company. Cisco is a US based company. And Palo Alto. Palo Alto is also a US based company. And Fortinet is also US based. So these are and the Juniper also. These 5 are the renowned vendors which generally make firewalls and implement it at different layers.
Okay, so firewall can be either software or hardware or means virtual or physical.
Yes.
So what actual difference between virtual and physical firewall? If our student try to understand that, because generally sometime it appears that firewall is something physically existing somewhere. So how we can differentiate, or how we can feel that the virtual firewall is working equally good as physical, or physical and virtual are nothing but just it is the visualization of mind and both are working with the same functionality?
So talking about the functionality of firewalls, there is no as such difference between a physical firewall, physical device, or a virtual device. Both will have the same capabilities and the same functionalities. The only difference is that it's a hardware. Physically you can touch it, feel it, but a software is like you can't touch it, you can't feel it, but it will be implemented in some kind of hypervisor like ESXi, VMware ESXi, or NSX.
It means some kind of cloud resource.
Yeah, some kind of resources you need to implement that firewall. Means you have to deploy that some kind of resources you need, either a cloud or an on-prem infrastructure, on-premises infrastructure to deploy that virtual firewall.
Okay.
So the third functionality of the firewall is the application level gateways. The sir was talking about the gateways. So these are the application level gateways, and we can also call them as the web application firewalls, WAF. And the next function is the next generation firewalls. When we talk about the next generation firewalls works from layer 4 till layer 7. They know what kind of application you are using. Either you are using ICMP, ping, SSH, telnet. These are the known applications which a network or security engineer use in real world scenarios. So another one is the intrusion detection and prevention system. So it is it's a monitoring tool which checks the network traffic for any suspicious activity and policy violations. Means if any packet is having some kind of suspicious data or suspicious header or suspicious source or destination, and it violates the policy which are implemented by the organization, then intrusion detection and prevention system will report that incident. So types are IDS. It's for IDS, means intrusion detection system. It's for detection and alerting. IPS is intrusion prevention system. It's for detection and prevention, because prevention is better than cure. If a activity can be prevented at first layer, then we don't have to do anything. Okay. Another one is NIDS. It's a network intrusion detection system. It's a network based. And another one is HIDS. It's a host based.
What is network based and what is host based? Can you explain a little bit?
Network based means a network, infrastructure, where infrastructure is involved, and host means the endpoint based, a single host, we can say that.
Okay.
Other essential tools are antivirus and anti-malware, which are malware detection and removal. VPN, we have already been talking about VPN. It creates a secure tunnel over the public network, public internet, and to access the internal resources. Generally, in short, we say it's a secure remote connection.
Okay.
Another one is a SIM tool. SIM is security information and event management. Means whenever attack happens, or attack is happening or not, or it's right now happening but mitigating, these all logs have been stored in a centralized location and accessed by the authorized users only, so that we know what kind of attack is happening and how it's mitigated. And then we have network scanners, which generally checks the vulnerabilities, and vulnerability is the important factor, because if the system is unpatched or not properly patched, then some kind of malicious user or a hacker can exploit that vulnerability and get into your system and hack it or crack it.
Okay, so you are talking about the network scanning and antivirus. Generally, if normal scenario we talk, or in terms of computer science student who is just starting or who is just into the security and related aspects. So scanning means they say that they are scanning the hard disk, or they are scanning the individual PC for the purpose of finding out whether some malicious things are there or not, means antivirus kind of thing. So how this antivirus and network scanning is different, if you can explain it.
So network scanners, when you say about the network scanners, they scan the ports which are open but not meant to be open. Means suppose like you have in your system or in your organization, you have open port 22, which is used for SSH, logical port 22, which is used for SSH, and it is not meant to be open. Okay. But by mistake or by anything, some application has opened that port, and a hacker, while scanning your network, found that this port is opened, and then and there is no firewall in your organization, then that hacker can exploit that port, logical port. That is done by the network scanners. Okay. Antivirus and anti-malware scans the individual PCs, not the infrastructures. They scan the individual PCs to find some kind of malicious files in your system, or viruses or malwares or Trojan horses, so that means some affected files which can be used by some kind of hacker to get into your system.
Okay, so that is why in network programming it is said that whenever you are opening certain port through certain code, at the end of your file, before closing the file, you close that particular port. Is it right?
Yes. Port, logical port, when we say logical port.
Yes.
Yes. It's not a physical port like your Ethernet adapters in your mobile or in your systems or in your laptops. It's a logical ports where a certain application work, like DNS, domain name system, works over port 53. DSCP, which assigns the IP to the systems, works at port 67. SSH works at port 22. FTP port works at logical port 21. So these ports once open and they are not meant to be opened, but in case if there is no firewall, that can be exploited.
So it is better to close that particular logical port through certain commands or by running certain scripts.
Yes.
Than being vulnerable.
Yes.
In terms of security. Okay.
Now, what best practices we should use? For organization, some technical measures should be done, like regular security updates and patches, strong encryption for data at rest and in transit.
What is the meaning of data at rest and data at transit?
So data at rest and in transit means whenever data is moving from source to destination, that means at that time it should be encrypted, and whenever it is stored in your system, at that time also it should be encrypted. Means when it is stored, nothing is happening, that means data at rest, and when it's moving from source to destination means data in transit, and both the time encryption should be there.
Okay.
Then we should use the multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication means once you enter the password, a code should come on your mobile or OTP should come on your mobile, so that a dual factor authentication can happen. And because if your password is breached, a hacker or intruder knows your password, but still a second layer, dual layer security is there, which is called second factor or multi-factor authentication, where a OTP comes on your message on your mobile to get the transaction done. And OTP also helps to know that somebody is accessing or doing some kind of malicious activity on your account.
Okay.
Then network segmentation. Network segmentation, we should use the VLAN concept. VLAN means segmenting a network. Instead of using a big network for all the services like printer, user, wireless, instead of that, we should segment that network into small chunks, so that for user, a separate segment should be made. For wireless, a separate segment should be made, and for printers, a separate segment should be made.
It means you are saying that there is a very big network in that the whole organization is working. So it is better to categorize the devices and make a separate segment for certain kind of different activities, or virtually make existence of different network or more than one network inside the existing network.
Yes.
So that is the segmentation.
Yes, segmentation means IP based segmentation. IP means the range of IPs which you are using in your organization to categorize different services.
So IP based also it can be done, or it can be done on the basis of the type of services also?
Generally, network segmentation means the IP based.
IP based, okay.
And the regular security audits and penetration testing. Some kind of administrative measures like security policies and procedures, employee training and awareness, that's important. Incident response planning. If an incident happens, then how should be tackled, how it should be tackled, and how should be notified to the users that this incident has been happened.
Okay.
Access control and privilege management is another important thing. What kind of access control means role based or attribute based, and privilege management means how you are authorized and what kind of privileges you have been. Okay. Regular backup and recovery testing means you should take the regular backup of your data, and recovery testing means check if it is getting perfectly recovered or not. Okay. So the point to be remembered here is security is not a one-time setup, but an ongoing process that requires continuous monitoring, updating, and improvement.
Okay.
So emerging trends and future challenges. So the new technologies are quantum computing. That's already been defined, told earlier in earlier slides. So what quantum computing does? It threatens current cryptographic methods like RSA, AES, which are used in the real world modern scenarios.
Okay, Ravi, very quickly, can you tell that what actually quantum computing does? Because in normal parallel computing environment, we are having algorithms working. So what is the basic philosophy behind quantum computing?
So quantum computing means the parallel processing. Parallel processing means the different processors are combined parallelly, and then they all work on a single kind of statement. So means a single problem they work, all processors combined parallelly, and they work on a single problem to solve it.
They divide the whole job in a small chunk of job, and they work parallelly. So chances of completing the job is very fast. Okay.
So quantum is a concept of the physics, and researchers have introduced in the computational area, computational studies. Then we have AI in machine learning. Because the threat detection because the new threats are coming, so threat detection should also be enhanced. And how it can be enhanced and sophisticated? By using AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, so that machine and application should remediate that vulnerability or attack itself, instead of happening, or instead of knowing that the attack has happened and then mitigating it. We have modern challenges, some modern challenges like IoT security. IoT is boom today. We are using IoT sensors everywhere. So billions of connected devices with current security standards.
It is not only the opportunity are good for the computing and communication or getting the services. Along with the opportunity, there are a lot of challenges, because there are uncountable number of endpoints which are open for the different kind of threats.
Yes.
In IoT environment. Okay.
Because IoT is a small device, it does not have that much memory or capacity to implement that complex cryptographic process. So IoT is a very, very effective way for the hacker to get into the system.
Right. Because
these are low computational devices, low memory devices, low resource constrained devices, you can say that. So these, they do not deploy that complex cryptographic process.
Right.
Another challenge is the cloud security, because cloud, we are already moving our data to the cloud. Okay. So, and we are using cloud services each day, like Gmail and other cloud services. So cloud security is actually a shared responsibility model and data privacy concerns. So key focus areas, what are the key focus areas? One is the zero trust architecture, which is the research of modern means research of today's world, how we can implement the zero trust architecture. It means that never trust, always verify. Means don't trust anybody, and always verify that, and provide the least privileges unless they are administrators. Even administrators are given the least privileges. Privacy by design means built-in privacy protection should deploy in the applications. Behavioral analytics, that's the important, means AI-powered threat detection, how the application is behaving, that can be judged easily by the AI-powered systems. And DevSecOps means development. We already know DevOps, development operations. Now there is another term called development security operations, means security integrated into the development.
Okay.
Means while developing a software, how the security can be implemented at that point of time is called DevSecOps.
Okay.
So key takeaways: remember the fundamentals like CIA tried. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the foundation of security. Defense in depth means multi-layers of security controls. Cryptography, essential for protecting data and communication. Continuous learning and improvement, security landscape constantly evolves. Human factor, people are often the weakest link in the security, because sometimes what attackers or crackers or hackers do there, they give different different mails to the users that click on that and get a lottery. So sometimes we click it and get into that.
Okay.
So some career path I can suggest. So
okay, it's all right. You continue with your discussion. Yes.
Career path. So means this is for students, means we can do the network security and cryptography. Skills are in high demand across the industries. Certificates we should consider like CompTIA, Security Plus, CISSP or CEH for career advancement, or different firewall vendor certificate we can do like PCNSA, CCNA Security, and Checkpoint certifications. So Juniper certifications, we can do that to get into the industry and get trained in the security.
So in a nutshell, opportunity is enormous because still the things are in progress, and gradually day by day we are moving towards more digital environment everywhere. Digital devices, gadgets and smartphones. Now it is said that the smartphone is something which is separate from us. It is part of our body. It is body organ. So if some kind of that scenario is emerging, so in that the challenges will be there to provide secure services and secure communication. So we discussed in these two sessions some basic related to network security, cryptography, and certain network tools, certain applications, and in the last Ravi mentioned about the career path and the opportunity in this area. Maybe in coming future also we will be discussing something related to it, and we will invite Ravi to discuss some more on certain protocols and certain tools. So thank you for being with us, and our learners and viewers, we are thankful to you to join us and be part of this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.